The Monster Energy Big 12 Conference Football Media Days here at the Star in Frisco with Ari Timken on the end. I'm James Westling. This is Arizona coach Brent Brennan here exclusively on TuneIn, and you're watching us on Big 12 Studios. And, Coach, man, last year it just felt like we were rooting for you guys. And year two of the Brent Brennan era, to see you guys break through, just incredible people with yourself and the headliner, your quarterback, Noah Fafita. It was awesome to see. So now going into year three, like when you look at the blueprint for success, was last year, hey, we're maybe ahead of schedule. Like, how do you look at things going into this season?
I think last year was just a little bit about some validation that the work and our process had merit, and that that we're moving the right direction. And I think for us, we're trying now is, how do we capitalize on the excitement that came out of Arizona football last year, with the high-level players, with our Heisman Trophy resume here, and Noah Fafita, just with the players that we brought here to Media Day. We have great leadership on the team, guys that are invested in the program. And so now how do we capitalize on that momentum of last year and really try and catapult this thing?
Yeah, you mentioned the Heisman candidacy for Fafita. You brought us a resume. The thing that to me stands out about Noah Fafita, Noah Fafita is the kind of player that college football says they want. Right? College football fans complain about how much movement there is and kids aren't willing to stick it through and fight adversity. I mean, he stuck it through after Jed left. You come in, he has a bad year, he still sticks it through, right? I mean, it's amazing to me how understated he is, despite him having many of the characteristics that most of the fans of the sport say they want in their players.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think that's why I continue to say he's the best story in college football. Right, because it's not just that he went through the adversity of kind of normal college kids, but he continues to choose University of Arizona, continues to choose our program, his teammates, the city of Tucson, time and time again. Where every year at the end of the season, everybody outside of there tries to pull him away.
How in the world does he find the time to do all of this? It is amazing. Like, I need to get up off the couch at 8 p.m., okay? That's my number one takeaway. This community service, like, are you kidding me? 3,100 Tucson residents he impacted through his organizations. Storytelling, meals, fellowship, the Arizona Cancer Foundation.
Isn't he also like a flag football coach, you told us?
He is,
what?
Yeah.
So like there's stuff he does that isn't even on the resume.
He's coaching this. So all that resume, all his community service stuff is absolutely legit. And he's one of those rare guys. Like, he continues to give. He continues to share who he is in the most fantastic ways. And his flag football team, I believe, has won the championship. He's had the same group since they were in first grade, and he's brought them all the way up. So now they're in fifth grade, and they've won the championship every single year.
Does he want to be a coach?
He does not want to be a coach, but I keep telling him, like, hey, I think you're going to be a coach. But he doesn't want to hear that.
Okay.
I mean, it feels like most of the coaches in the league were quarterbacks. I mean, it's like insane how much it translates. All right, so you have a great level of continuity back within your roster, within your staff. What does that mean now as you head into this all-important year?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, the best teams I've ever been a part of were player-led. And so, with the guys that, the great players that we just talked about, and those guys that have been in the program and are kind of committed and connected to the University of Arizona, how much are they willing to drive it? How are they willing to drive the offseason, the summer, the dog days when no one's looking and no one's out there and there's no fans in the stands and it's just you and your boys getting after it in the Tucson sun? And I think that part I'm excited about because of the leadership on our team, because of the great players that chose to come back to the U of A this year and let it ride one more time.
So of all these Fafita skills, the accuracy, the leadership, the elusiveness, the decision-making, so on and so forth, if you had to identify this is his number one skill that he is better than anybody in the world at, what would it be?
Toughness. He is so incredibly tough. And you don't always see that show up in the quarterback position outside of the fact that every time he gets rocked, he gets back up and gets under center, gets in that shotgun again, and gets ready to let it rip. He is really, really special that way.
The other thing, he has his top 8 pass catchers back. So that chemistry between him and the wide receivers, the tight ends, the guys out of the backfield, where is that at, and what could we see from those other positions?
Well, I think it's going to start with, Seth Daggy being here for his second year and Noah actually having a quarterback or a quarterback coach coordinator who's the same guy for more than one season. I think that's going to be really impactful. But all those guys coming back, we're excited about, right? That's, here today I've got Trey Spivey and Chris Hunter here, two outstanding players who are also great leaders for our team. But there's going to be a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of production that is maybe not yet realized in that receiver room, in that tight end room, and the running back room is going to be fun too. So I think we're excited about that. And Noah's really confident in those guys.
Yeah, I mean, look at your roster. There's so many guys back, but the concern would be in the secondary. I mean, you had 3 guys drafted, which is incredible for Arizona. 4 guys drafted. Wow. And I mean, you lose 2 corners. The secondary was such a huge part of your success last year, creating turnovers. How do you do that again?
Well, I think, number one, it starts with getting pressure on the quarterback. And so I think Coach Gonzalez and our defensive front, Coach Joe Salavea, that's going to be a huge focus, for us. Just, how do we find ways to get pressure on the quarterback, get him moved off his spot, mess with the timing of the throwing and catching. But then also you have that component of, all right, who's going to play in the secondary? And we got an all-conference performer in Javion Cole coming back. Gavin Hunter played a lot of good football for us. And then there's going to be a handful of guys that transferred in from the portal and some high school players that are kind of growing up that are going to be competing for some of those other spots.
Yeah, you threw some numbers at the portal at the secondary for sure.
We had to. We had 4 guys drafted, and a 5th is playing for Tampa Bay.
Wow.
Aiden Garnes is playing for Tampa Bay. So we had 5 guys playing in the National Football League from the same secondary a year ago.
That's insane.
Well,
Not a coincidence here. You had how many interceptions as a team?
That's right.
We had Brett Arcee on our show a couple of weeks ago, one of your defensive backs coaches.
Our safeties coach.
And you didn't bring him. He was already at Arizona, right? So what does he mean to that secondary room?
So Coach Arcee is a really special young coach, and I think he was like the assistant DB coach when I took over, and I promoted him to the full-time guy, and he's just been awesome. He's a great husband and dad, and then he's also proven that he can develop players, and I think that's one of those things that is a huge point of emphasis for us at the U of A. Is there's going to be tons of development on and off the field if you're part of our program, and Coach Arcee and then our corners coach Chip Viney also just does a fantastic job.
How have the fans, have you seen the growth and excitement over Arizona football? I mean, I'm a Kansas grad, so I know what it's like for a football program within a basketball, world, which is very rare in college sports. It's usually the opposite. How have you seen the fan base grow and get excited about this program?
I think it's been great. The way they showed up for our bowl game in San Diego. I think the way they showed up for our spring game, this spring, there was a ton of excitement for this football team. And I think for us, in terms of the desire to build a consistent, sustainable, winning football program at the U of A, something that continues to play late in November and is in the conference, hunt, fighting to find a way to play in the Big 12 championship. I think those are some of the things, the boxes we need to check to continue to elevate and excite our fan base.
Well, and Ari kind of alluded to this earlier with Noah. You guys had a tremendous season, and on paper, it's like this team should be right back where they were last year. But the narrative around the Big 12 is Texas Tech, BYU, even Houston, it kind of feels like. So I guess.
Yeah, you guys are pretty under the radar for a 9-win team last year.
That
was really good.
Which is really confusing to us.
It doesn't bother us.
You probably like it that way, huh?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for us, it's really like we in our place, we just talk about what do we control, right? And we don't control those outside stories, those outside narratives about other teams. We focus on Arizona football and how we're building this team right now. And so, all that stuff is cool and whatever, but at the end of the day, none of it matters once you put the ball down and start playing.
Right. And so, what are the top 2 or 3 things that you identify as, okay, we won 9 games last year. If we're going to win 11, what are those items?
So I think we got to score more touchdowns in the red zone than we did a year ago. We were efficient, points in the red zone, but I think we can take a step there. I think the having some consistency in our O-line, I feel like we've added some good pieces there and some other pieces have grown up. So I think we feel good about what we're bringing back there. And then our ability to stop the run and get to the quarterback defensively. I think those things are critical. And I know everybody keeps focusing on the secondary, and I hear you. I hear you, man.
Right.
But at the same time, we got to find ways to get pressure and not make it so those guys have to cover for 10 minutes.
You also very understated, really good recruiting class, very under the radar. You had like a high 4-star, I think, wide receiver, right? Is he going to play at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's going to be fun to watch those guys that just joined us. Some of those guys were here for spring practice, and then some of them got here in at the end of May. And so, we're looking forward to fall camp and seeing what that looks like, because that process with that group is going. The competition in that whiteout room is going to be super, super intense.
I heard you talking about the Redline when you were at the podium. Explain what that is to us.
So Redline was we wanted to come up with a way. I think, like, if you go to some football programs, there's like 1,000 quotes on the wall,
Yes.
and 1,000 mantras, and you're like, hey, what do these things mean? And is there anything that any player identifies with all this stuff on the wall? And so we wanted Redline to be simple and understandable and something that was easy for the players to say. So it's just these 3 core values of effort, execution, and accountability. And then the way we define effort is 100 miles an hour, 100% of the time. And so today you heard me talk about Tay Brown in that way, because he plays so hard all the time, practice games, whatever. The execution is prove it, because every player says he wants to be first team, or they want to run faster or get better grades. It's like, well, prove it. Like, it's a very simple, like we play the best guys. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're good, you're going to play.
Right.
If you're not good, you're not going to play. It's very simple. So prove it. And then the last one is accountability, which is own it, fix it, which is the toughest one, in my opinion, for this generation, because they struggle holding each other accountable in the day-to-day stuff that makes football teams great. And so the whole, like, my bad thing, I said my bad, so that makes it okay that I just screwed the team by jumping offside. It's bigger than that. Own it, fix it. And so how do we make it simple? And so now, if those guys will just say to a player, hey, Redline, that's not Redline. And guys know right away what they're talking about.
That's awesome. I want to shout out your socks. So are those your kids?
These are my kids. This is a Father's Day gift. So my son Scotty is 19. He's a freshman on our team. My daughter Casey, she's 21. And my daughter Blake, she's 23.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm rocking the socks today.
Was that like this Father's Day you got them?
It was last year.
Okay.
Man, and I was just about to ask, what is your number one skill outside of football? But it's clearly the sock game.
Sock game, no, yeah. that is kind of fun.
All right, if it's not football and it's not socks, what is your number one skill outside of football?
I would say it's barbecue. So yeah, but the funny part is that, like, as a head coach, I don't get to barbecue as much.
Yeah.
Like, there's not as much time for it. But I do try and cook for the guys on team or my family whenever I can.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have some downtime in July, so I've been cooking.
What do you have? You have a smoker, you've got a offset, you got
so I've got a lot.
Traeger.
So
No, that's what I mean, I've got 3 different things. I aspire to have all of the things.
Oh yeah, I love it. Oh, you and I get along good then. Yeah, so I've got an old school Weber, because it's the most functional grill in the history of all time.
Timeless.
Yeah, I've got a PK grill, which is like a awesome kind of Weber on steroids, and then I have a extra large big green egg, and then I have a Traeger, which a Traeger is just cheating, but it still produces good barbecue.
It does.
It's like the outdoor oven. I like to joke, but
the egg, though, I've got an egg knockoff. It's the greatest thing ever. The Kamado, just that
smoker.
the ceramic oven. It's so good.
So good. That produces the best product.
But it's not. Traeger's easy. It's set it, forget it.
Yeah.
You got to be messing with the
Airflow.
vents. Yeah, the air. It's a lot.
Sure.
It's very intensive. It takes a lot of time and a lot of careful.
I agree.
I just got a Blackstone. Those are amazing too.
I have a Blackstone too. I left that out, which I love. That's a lot of fun.
It's not a smoker, but it's
Right.
just fun outdoor toy to cook with. What do you have?
A
James?
Blackstone.
You have a Blackstone?
Yeah.
And you use it?
I had a Blackstone for years.
You cook on it?
I had a Blackstone forever.
It's an incredibly
Blackstones are
functional
Blackstones.
grill.
It's somewhere in the garage.
You never cooked on it.
Oh, I put that Blackstone through the ringer. Okay. You better protect that quarterback like a brisket on a Sunday smoker.
There you
Okay?
go, buddy.
All right. Good luck to you, Coach. Appreciate you.
Thanks a lot. Good seeing y'all. Bear down.
Arizona's Brent Brennan here at Big 12 Football Media Days exclusively on TuneIn, and you're watching us on Big 12 Studios.